What up? This is another edition of Hit the Ropes. This is a special edition, a recap of WWE Fastlane. As I was watching the near 52-hour program tonight, I kind of was leaning to them, as I put out on Twitter, changing the name to Fast Forward because yizers, it was a rough 3-hour program that we had here. For those who are just tuning in, following this pay-per-view, this is Hit the Ropes. We're on live each Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then after every pay-per-view, about a 30-minute recap here. I'm going to go ahead and blast it out on the Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, which you can follow us at Hit the Ropes. So on to the pay-per-view, Fastlanes. This is a transitional pay-per-view. It's the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, right? So this is the go-home pay-per-view. I'll be joined by Courtney in just a moment, but this is the go home pay-per-view, man. This is supposed to be setting up and finalizing all the storylines, getting us excited, getting us hyped for the final pay-per-view of the season as we see it. And man, there were some things that came to us as a surprise, so that was good, because usually it's just, okay, we know what matches have to take place next month, Courtney. We know coming into Fastlane, right? There was a set the pay-per-views next month were already set. So most of the storylines coming into Fastlane were a done deal. So that took away a lot of the charm from this pay-per-view. You just tweeted, do we really need to cover this pay-per-view?
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, what you give this pay-per-view overall, and then we'll jump into it quickly.
Oh, man. First of all, can you hear me? I'm using a new microphone. I don't know if you can see it in front of me.
I see that, and you're sounding very nice. Sounding all
right,
professional.
Man, this is what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I had to step you guys were bringing it, maybe except for Shane, because I don't know what be up with Shane's mic sometimes. But, I had to join y'all and, just be professional about it. So, hey, I bought myself a new microphone. So, if I had to give a grade, I would give it a D. That's based off the strength of one match. And that one match will surprise you. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but that match is probably going to surprise you when I tell you.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to tell you now? You want me to,
Okay. I didn't know. You got me in suspense here. Okay, we can wait as we go through the card, but you gave it a D. I was a little bit more generous. I'll give it a C+. And as we go through these matches, you'll find out why. We won't cover the pre-show match more than Rich Swann and Tozawa versus they beat Kendrick and Noam Dar, unless you've got anything riveting to tell about the 205 Live Tag Team.
No, actually, you know what? Let me change that. I'll give it a C- because of two matches. I forgot about one.
Will one of them be 205 Live, the tag team match?
No.
No, okay. All right, well, let's jump into the pay-per-view. It kicked off. Sami Zayn was taking on Samoa Joe. Wikipedia will have you believe that Sami Zayn lost by knockout, which he actually was tapped out. He got into the rear naked choke of Samoa Joe, What did you think about the encounter? We've seen them two battle before. Sami Zayn, as of late, is the punching bag. That is his new role. He was like the big hero in NXT. He was the guy. He was their champion, and he could do. There was nothing he couldn't do. But on Raw, the call up, he's just the lovable loser. That's really all there is to Sami Zayn now. What do you think about Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe?
I did not like it. I expected a much better match, especially knowing the caliber of match that the two of those guys can put on. But like you said, Sami Zayn was basically the punching bag. It's funny because I actually had negative opinions on two of the more recent, not more recent, but more high profile NXT call-ups. We'll get to the second one later. But I didn't enjoy this match. Actually, I was cleaning out my refrigerator during this match. That's how I was after, seeing, Sami Zayn hardly get any offense off. Now I can see that against Braun Strowman, but against Samoa Joe, who Joe's a beast and we love Joe, but come on, man. Sami Zayn has basically been reduced to a jobber status.
Yeah, he is the gatekeeper of all great things. And we've seen him there as the punching bag. You mentioned Braun Strowman. He did it for Kevin Owens. Now he has done it for Samoa Joe. So he's that guy. He can go. He'll give you a good match. Mm-hmm. But, what is he getting out of it in the long run? So I'm a little bit down on the usage of Sami Zayn here at Fastlane, and it continues. So from the Samoa Joe match and Sami Zayn, we got the tag team match. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, they came in as the champions. They were hoping to walk out the same as they were taking on Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Coming into this bout, did you think we were going to have a title change?
No, I didn't. Only because the New Day held the titles for so long, and I don't think WWE is ready to put the tag titles on another super crowd-friendly babyface tag team yet. But with that being said, the club does nothing for me. I would have rather had the belt stayed on Sheamus and Cesaro, but they haven't done anything for me really since they broke up with AJ Styles. To me, they're just kind of like two generic ball guys, but
The promo Enzo gave, 2 thumbs up. That
was the most enjoying part of the match. And here's Enzo and Cass matches go the exact same way, follow the exact same format every single time. It's predictable. Enzo's going to get beat up the entire match until he finally makes the hot tag to Cass, and then Cass is just gonna, right. But I did like the end of the match. The 2 near falls were really good because I thought that they had the match won until Gallows pulled Enzo out of the ring. But I can't be totally negative about that match. It was a decent match. It was nothing wrong with it. It was just kind of the club. It was a combo of the club that does nothing for me, and all Enzo and Cass tag matches are the same.
Yeah. So the question here is what happens with the club? Finn Balor's got to be, coming back soon. So maybe the club is reunited. Maybe they, I hope so. That would reinvigorate. We've said that over and over again. The outside thing also is Adam Cole, ROH fame. is slated to come in sometime after WrestleMania. Now, most likely he's going to take his trip to NXT as most guys do, but maybe there's something there for the club as well. But again, I'm right there with you. The tag team matches are very stale, and that while I assume the Hardys are going to SmackDown, should they get signed, if they landed into Raw and had their feud with the New Day as they once talked about, and getting their way to the WWE's tag straps away from the club, that wouldn't be a bad thing either. So
you mentioned the Hardys, and this is just a side note. You didn't see what happened last night?
I saw they won the tag straps in ROH, but did they sign a contract?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's funny because other than that happening and then Bully Ray showing up, so I heard nothing about that, and that was just early this afternoon. As a matter of fact, I was hanging with Stokes earlier. Shout out to Stokes. I saw the new baby today. He actually brought it to my attention and kind of shocked me, but hey, more power to the Hardys.
Yep, they're collecting gold. They're on that gold quest right now, and they're doing their thing. So I mentioned the New Day. The New Day. Now, is this a stab at CM Punk? We know they like to do this. They being the WWE. They like to, if there's somebody who has the longest reigning, title, holding the title for the longest amount of time, and if that person kind of falls out of favor, they'll quickly go ahead and change those titles. I.e., Randy Orton all of a sudden out of nowhere becoming the youngest reigning heavyweight champion after Brock Lesnar had fallen out with the WWE. And there's a couple other cases. Is the New Day getting their New Day pops, their New Day ice cream, a shot at CM Punk? I mean, obviously, yes, they're going to market it and they're going to make a lot of money. So that is a part of it. That's a big part of it. But also, is this a shot at CM Punk as well?
I think maybe if it would have been 2 years ago, it would be. Now, I think they're just trying to squeeze all the money out of the New Day that they can. And you got to think, the New Day has been able to market cereal. The New Day has been able to market, light up unicorn horns. The New Day has been able to. The New Day. WWE probably sees the New Day as their chief marketeers, because anything you give them, they'll sell. The fans will eat it up, and it becomes sold out on WWE Shop. So I'm gonna be, hey, let these New Day pops really come to the market. All right, your boy is in. The only thing that they didn't sell that I wish they would have was those red tracksuits that the New Day had. They didn't sell those. They just had the jacket.
Well, so that wasn't Adidas, or did they eventually go to their own brand?
The E was selling a version of the jacket, and it was just a red jacket on WWEshop.com for a minute. I don't know if it's still on there, but I know they were selling a version of the jacket. So, hey, man, the New Day is gonna sell anything. So
they sell everything, and we got WGS TV up in the chat. So what up to you? Doesn't think it's a shot at CM Punk. So interesting to note. What else we got going on? Next, we had Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, and this one caught me off guard a little bit. I definitely had Nia Jax penciled in for the W here, and it seems that there was a little bit of trickery, and I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that I don't buy. Okay, let me tell you the good first, Courtney. Let me tell you the good. Mm-hmm. I like the progression of Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting her power moves in. She's looking dominant. after she lost, the expression on her face, she couldn't believe that just happened, and she was distraught. So those are my pluses, but that's where they end. I don't know how they were telling us a whole list. Did you hear the list of accomplishments in the gym that Nia Jax? Her squats were like 600 pounds. Her bench was 250. All these accomplishments. But yet when the 125-pound Sasha Banks rolled her over and did a bridge, she couldn't use those legs to vault her to the moon.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Look, man, I was trying to like that match. But it was just, I think what did it for me was probably the multiple attempts. And I'm like, man, are you serious? She can squat that much, and yet Sasha is, man, it was just one of those things that was like, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me, right? But
yeah. Listen, and I want to cry, man. I want to cry. It just burns me up so much. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, I have said this like 52 different times. What are these women doing? Okay, and let me point out for those who are listening to this podcast, I'm going over to Twitter, and there was a tweet that was put out showing this guillotine headlock. It's an arm end guillotine. I'm going to put it up right now so you can see. This move has been used over and over on Nia Jax. I first saw it with Bayley. We also see it with Sasha Banks. Look at this move. Nia Jax is well north of 200 pounds, right?
Yeah,
and
I would say so.
They continue to have these small ladies jump up on her face and try and reach around and choke her out with a guillotine. Look at this. She's got to crank her neck to the side to even make this thing look legit.
She's like trying to fold herself up like a pretzel for this.
So trying.
And shout out to Nia
Jax.
Bravo for trying that,
But stop it. They keep trying. Anybody, all right, today, this would have been fine in the 80s, right? But we have the UFC. We have Bellator. We have all these MMA organizations. We know what a guillotine choke looks like. We know that you can, a one-arm guillotine is nearly impossible. It is possible, but it is nearly impossible. And you're definitely not going to do it with the arm in without grasping the hands. It's just not going to happen for the tiny little Sasha Banks.
Because if you look at that picture, Sasha Banks' right arm looks to be underneath Nia Jax's left leg. That is not how you perform a guillotine, my friend.
She was trying to go for a fisherman's suplex guillotine. Like the first ever in the history of any UFC, WWE, any kind of mixed martial arts or sports entertainment event. What is she doing? So this is what bugs me the frick out, Courtney. I don't know. Let me get off this picture, but crazy. What are you doing there? And they keep, and that's like every wrestler has a set move list, right? So we know whether it's The Rock, whether it's AJ Styles, no matter how great you are, you have a set move list. This guillotine, no matter who Nia Jax faces, is in her set moves list. Please take it out. In the words of Matt Hardy, delete.
Delete, delete, delete.
Yes. So that was my big gripe. We had a couple bumbles and fumbles like that. That finish was not believable, especially after Michael Cole ran off her list of accomplishments in the gym and how strong she is, but couldn't flick off, the 90-pound Sasha Banks. So
right.
That made it hard for me. And then this is where and the pay-per-view was kind of going along at this point. It was all right, and then it hit a roadblock. It hit a roadblock for me right here, Courtney, because then we had arguing in the back of who was going to compete first. That's a weird thing to argue about between who was it, Rusev and Jinder Mahal. So they're arguing because they both all of a sudden get single matches out of nowhere at Fastlane, and now they're arguing who would go first. So they fight a little bit, and then they get one, and then Jinder Mahal throws out Rusev, and then we just have him in the ring by himself. His opponent is Cesaro.
Does anybody care about Jinder Mahal? I was just wondering.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why is he on pay-per-view?
Man, hey,
maybe this was a tryout.
He looks jacked, by the way, and I'll be honest.
Like hard buddy.
It wasn't him that I didn't like in the match. Surprisingly, it was Cesaro who I didn't like in the match. Hey, this is a decent match. Nothing, it was kind of a yawner, but Jinder looked good. Cesaro had some misses in the match that I noticed. Don't know what was up with that, but hey, man, even a Swiss Superman can have an off day. But it was just a decent match that didn't mean anything,
Are you ready for the Rusev versus Jinder Mahal pre-show match at WrestleMania next month?
Oh no, yo! And when did Rusev get? I haven't watched Raw in like 3 weeks. When did Rusev get a haircut?
I've recently, he's been on my Twitter line for some reason popping up, but apparently in a promo on Raw, which I must have missed, he called himself Handsome Rusev. So that's the whole deal. So now he goes to the barbershop, gets his handsome haircut, and blah, blah, blah. So he's Handsome Rusev, which I don't know if they played out to tonight.
Hey, dashing Cody Rhodes, Handsome Rusev,
Yes. So that was what it was. Big Show. What happened to the abs? I saw the picture with like the 32 abs, like the size, bus abs. I mean, he's dropped a lot of weight, and that's all good. But that picture was perfectly timed that he was thrown out there. And
looked like he went to go see Dr. Miami. That's what it looked like.
Well, we ain't gonna go there, but he might have.
Right.
It looks like his match with Shaq at WrestleMania is out. So that's is that a loss for the pay-per-view, or we moving right along?
We can move right along.
All right. After that, we got the. I don't know what Jack Gallagher is doing with an umbrella in the ring, but he brought it and unfortunately didn't get to use it because he lost to Neville tonight. What you think about the 205 putting on their profile match for the Cruiserweight Championship? Courtney's on pause. So while he gets himself back together, I thought it was an okay match. They had some tremendous high spots. I think it was a belly to back off the top rope performed by Gallagher onto Neville, and looked like Neville returned the favor by a belly to back that darn near broke his neck. It looked pretty vicious there. So I thought the match overall was pretty good. It was one of the longer matches on the card there, the third longest at 12 minutes and 10 seconds. So it was an okay match. I think the whole build-up, as we saw, the best line was "show my package," which is really weird to say, but it came from Austin Aries as they kept continually showing his reel for, I guess, his return. It didn't mention a return, but the thought is that he will be taking on Neville possibly as soon as WrestleMania. Looking forward to that. Next is the match that I was probably looking forward to the most: Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. This was the match that was really going to put Strowman over as the man beast, because Roman Reigns is the WWE's darling, and let's see what he can do. This was the longest match on the card at 17 minutes and 20 seconds, and there was some back and forth there. Some very impressive feats of strength. That's what really put Strowman on the map, and he was awesome. Looks like Courtney's back here. I just kind of glanced.
I'm definitely getting a new computer this week, man. This is terrible.
It's always something with your computer. You got the new
always
got the new mic. Now your computer's going up. Listen, you ain't coming to Mania. Go ahead and cash that money and get yourself a better computer and some better internet while you're at it. But Strowman, Roman, what were your thoughts? I was very impressed, as I seem to be week in and week out, with Strowman's strength and what he's doing with it in the ring. But what were your impressions of the Roman Strowman bout?
I actually enjoyed the match, and it sucks that my computer decided to take a crap while we were talking about the Cruiserweight title, because that was my favorite match of the night.
Okay, well, we can go back to it real quick.
Okay. That was my favorite match of the night. It really, really was. Jack Gallagher reminds me of Daniel Bryan. I'll say that. He reminds me of Daniel Bryan. Maybe not without all the holds and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. Just watching him in the ring reminds me of, just watching Daniel Bryan at his prime. And Neville, oh my gosh. Neville has gone, Neville got injured, and then he was kind of like just tossed aside. That heel turn, man, a heel or a face turn can do so. Just like, a good hairdo on a. I'm not even going to say that. Okay, so you know where I'm going. But man, a heel turn can do wonders for a wrestler, and Neville has been, has raised his game, so to speak. And I actually I would like, especially seeing how big Neville is, how strong he is, man, I think Neville should start getting some shine with the big boys. Man, I would love to see, a Seth Rollins Neville match, or Neville versus Jericho, or something like that. Man, Neville Samoa Joe. I would love to see that, man. Hey, man, I like Neville. Neville's been one of the few bright spots on Raw since his heel turn. So, I mean, not necessarily the cruiserweights, but Neville himself. So I enjoyed the match, and I think WWE might have found them a baby face, a one true baby face in the cruiserweight division in Jack Gallagher. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on that match.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Jack Gallagher, his comedy, his umbrella in the ring, walking down the ring.
His Sheamus level pastiness.
Yeah, I gotta move off of this guy. Nomar Dar, as I keep saying week in, week out. That is my favorite in the 205 Live. I'm waiting for him to really break out. But, let's jump back into what I feel is the main event of the evening: Roman versus Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Strowman. Man, when what's Roman's move when the dude is laid out unconscious, and he goes for the drive-by leg drop, boots to the face?
Yeah, that's called the drive-by.
All right, so I like the drive-by, but yet Strowman just catches him and just effortlessly tosses him into the ring post. That was a thing of beauty. Mm-hmm. And the second thing that was just like, wow, this dude is strong. Not necessarily strength, but it was a first for me. I never seen anybody get power slammed like that through a table.
Oh, through that table, wow. And Corey Graves said it. He said they disintegrated that table, and it was, man, what a power slam.
A thing of beauty.
I had to stand up and applaud.
Yeah, that's. I mean, usually you see some guys jumping up off of the top ropes, off of the barricades. Strowman just picked the dude up and leaped and boom.
And it seemed like he was running for a second with Reigns up there, and then just drove him into the table. And while I did not like the result, I really liked the match. Like when I saw Strowman going up to the top, I'm like, man, what is he doing?
Yeah,
what is he doing? He did not.
I thought something crazy was coming out.
I'm glad he didn't Brock himself. You know what I'm saying, on the top ropes.
Yes, I thought he was going to try to pull something off, shooting star press and miss or something to that degree. Thank God he didn't, because I know the big deal is he's able to do the nip up, which impressed a lot of people. I heard on the Talking Jericho a month or two whenever he was on ago, and he told people that he can do it, and they had a big old thing about it, but I hadn't seen it yet. And then he did it, I think, last week or maybe the week before on Raw. So very impressed with Mr. Strowman, even in a loss.
Yeah, I mean, he just continues. Each week, I continue to get, more and more impressed by him. And I'm wondering what they're going to do with him at Mania, because we kind of know that it's probably going to be Taker Roman, so you can't have that rematch. So,
yeah, and I thought maybe we get the appearance of the music, the dongs of the dongs of Taker. I thought we were gonna get the dongs of Taker.
So did I, but we didn't. They had to make Roman look strong. Going to what we think is Taker versus Roman. But like I said, I enjoyed the match. It was it took Roman 3 spears, like 17 Superman punches. Strowman, it seemed like every time Roman came at him, Strowman had an answer for him. But, Strowman, maybe with some arrogance. And it was the same thing with Nia Jax. When she hit Sasha with that power bomb, I was like, okay, it's over. Just pin her. And then she hit her with that leg drop. I'm like, all right, it's over. Just pin her. No, she just picks her up by her hair, and we see what happened. But Strowman's hubris, there I go using big words again, but his hubris cost him the match.
Big word,
but hey, man, my favorite match on the card of the night. So
yes, it was very good, very interesting, and it picked things up for us. I like to say, because Fastlane for me was a little bit stale. It picked up a little bit with Neville versus Jack Gallagher, very much so with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman.
I like your tweet, by the way. Hashtag fast forward. I like that.
It very much was a fast forward kind of night. Unfortunately, I was watching live, but it would have been nice because for me, I needed it in that next match, all 16 minutes and 55 seconds of Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. Charlotte had the longest consecutive win streak, or undefeated streak rather, at a pay-per-view in singles competition, most of those being title matches coming into this. So I thought there might be a flip-flop here again, because it's been hot potato with the Raw's Women's Championship. I thought that was going to be the case. It was not. Boring Bayley. I got to say it like that because she is so cheesy, so boring to me. She gets the win. What did you think about Charlotte versus Bayley? We have an interruption from Sasha Banks. And still Bayley.
Like 3 things. Okay, first of all, Charlotte, the queen. No, she's not the Queen of Hearts. That's Natalia. The Queen, Charlotte, pulled off another impeccable moonsault. I must say that first before I get started. Second, I do not like main roster Bayley. I mean, come on, man. She can't talk. she botches more than any woman I've seen in a ring for a while. And then, like, she had one instance today where, how she jumps off the bottom rope and springs into the elbow drop, and she slipped off the bottom rope, went for it again, slipped again, and then went for it again and slipped again. And she visibly was frustrated with herself. But then, I'm going to do that again. And pulls off the spring, but doesn't even come close to touching Charlotte. Doesn't even come close. And Bayley does nothing for me. I have to say that. This plucky underdog, just seems like she's, kind of scared of the moment to me, just because every time she has a microphone in her hand, she's flubbing words. Like I said, man, and then the finish was just, come on, man. Why do we have Sasha Banks coming out there? We know it's going to lead to Bayley versus Sasha at Mania. But, it was no purpose for it. Like, why end Charlotte's pay-per-view streak? And to Bayley, of all people.
When Sasha ran out there, I thought it was going to be a DQ finish to preserve that.
Me too.
So, but I guess Charlotte hit her first, and thus there was no DQ. But it's so weird that she had the tights. Charlotte had Bayley's tights, was rolling her up, and this happens. But how the ref was on the opposite side of he was on one side. Then we had the pin in the middle, and then we had Sasha Banks on the outside, the completely other side. So he could not see the tights, but Sasha was calling for him. Hey, she's got the tights. She's got the tights. So he stops the count to jump up and check if she has the tights. What if she didn't have the tights?
Exactly.
You can't just jump up and stop your count and be like, what? Oh. You, who's not involved in the match whatsoever, have no official capacity, and I'm going to just take your word for it that she's got the tights and check.
Yeah. I can see.
What?
Why did Sasha Banks come out there? It's Dana Brooke wasn't out there. Charlotte, Bayley wasn't getting cheated at the time. Sasha had no reason to come out there, and yet she came out there and once again showing that Bayley cannot win a match without Sasha's against Charlotte. I mean, I know this is untrue, but she can't win a big money match against Charlotte without Sasha interfering. That's 2 now. So,
and that'll be the setup. That's going to get us our transition, because Bayley specifically asked Charlotte not to have Dana Brooks for whatever reason. Charlotte was like, okay, I'm confident. I don't need you, Dana Brooks. Get off my stage. Don't show up. But even though she was given that commandment by the great and powerful Charlotte, when Sasha ran down, where the frick was Dana Brooks?
Exactly. Sometimes things just don't. Sometimes, and I understand as wrestling fans, we see things don't make a lot of sense all the time. But sometimes there are some things that are beyond,
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly.
When Sasha Banks came down, why was Dana Brooke not making a beeline behind her?
Didn't make sense.
No.
She was doing the Arnold Classic or something? Did she go back and was she trying to get a trophy? What was she doing? It didn't make any sense. The whole thing didn't make any sense. But again, this is the transitional pay-per-view that is supposed to lead us to WrestleMania. We're going to see probably on Monday, Bayley's going to come out and say, I could have done it on my own. I didn't need you, Sasha. Why are you here, Sasha? And that's going to start the rift. And then hopefully Nia Jax is going to come in and squash all 3 competitors, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha. and become the new champion at WrestleMania. So that's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm thinking we might see come WrestleMania.
That's what I hope. That's what I hope. Because I'll be honest, man, as much as I like Sasha Banks, I can't buy Sasha Banks as champion in a women's division with Nia Jax and Charlotte. I just can't. She's too small. And it's not like she's pulling off, Libre, Rey Mysterio. She's not Ray the Giant Killer, okay? I'm hoping that, Nia Jax gets some shine, at Mania, because it's only two people who I want to see the belt on, the women's title on Raw, and their names are not Bayley and Sasha Banks. So
now you retweeted something about Sasha Banks that was on point. Wale, everybody, including Wale, was feeling the heel Sasha Banks. This, I'm just happy for my friends. Sasha Banks ain't cutting it.
Because if you follow Sasha Banks from NXT, that's not any part of her character. None. Like my boy Jerry texted me, and he was really negative about the women tonight. He basically said WWE is killing the women's division. And I think I kind of agree, especially on Raw.
Yeah.
Now SmackDown is continuing. The women's division on SmackDown has been great since the brand split. Since the brand split, but on Raw it's just too much hot potato and too many finishes like tonight.
Yes. So if we can get Nia Jax the strap, have the baby faces chasing, let her squash one baby face after another. Boom, boom, boom. Keep it on her for a good minute because she is the unbeatable force, minus tonight. I'll be all good with that. And that leads us to our main event of the evening.
And you know what's funny before you start that? When Bayley was coming out and I looked at my clock on the stove and I'm like, it's 10:30. And my wife was sitting here watching. I said, it's going to be some shenanigans in the main event. And I text my boy Jerry, was like, are you watching this? He was like, man, yeah, I'm watching this. I said, the bell's going to ring, KO's going to get speared, and it's going to be over. And boy, do I sound like Nostradamus. Excuse me, Maxstradamus.
Well, we knew that. And this is the reason why we didn't get the gong from The Undertaker and the Roman Reigns bout, because they were saving it for Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho came out. I think he even stepped out onto the stage. But before that, they prolonged this whole thing to, I guess, get some heat on Kevin Owens for not fighting. He just kind of walked out of the ring and he rolled and he teased coming in and he rolled out again. And the ref had no control of the match. The match hadn't started. All he had to do was ring for the bell. And if Kevin Owens wanted to sit on the outside, that would then at least get Bill Goldberg to chase him into the ring because he wouldn't allow him to count out and miss his opportunity.
Yeah, and you know what? The first time Owens rolled out the ring, I was like, oh, okay, KO playing some mind games. All right. And then the second time, I'm like, seriously, bruh? And the second time, he was outside the ring longer, I believe. And, I like the way KO came down. Like, KO meant business tonight. From the way he walked down to the ring, stalking Goldberg, to when he got in the ring and put the belt in his face. Okay, KO means business tonight. But we saw at WrestleMania, when we were talking about it during the show, when Goldberg eliminated Lesnar, I'm pretty sure we all came to the conclusion that, so now Goldberg's going to win the Rumble. And I thought Goldberg was going to win the Rumble at first, but then once he challenged Kevin Owens at Fastlane the next night on Raw, it was like, okay, so Goldberg's going to beat Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar is going to beat Goldberg at Mania for the belt. And it makes no sense. Like, the outcome of the match made no sense at all.
Well, we knew when they added 2 matches in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
They knew they were not saving any time for the main event. We knew it right then and there. And the walking, okay, you're getting fans frustrated. You're a heel, okay. But at the end of the day, the match was 15 seconds long.
Yeah. Actually, it was
seconds.
18 seconds, I believe. Somebody tweeted. It's like a WWE pay-per-view clock or something. It was 18 seconds.
I'm happy he got those 3 extra seconds there so he could have some kind of record. But I knew that Chris Jericho was coming out at some point in this match. I'm sure you knew. John in the chat room knew. Everybody knew. So why was he so shocked and surprised when he heard the music and turned around to look down the ramp? We also knew that Bill Goldberg, listen, the funny thing, somebody on the commentating staff said, "Oh, Kevin Owens, great job walking out of the ring," because we know that Bill Goldberg doesn't have lung capacity. This is a great tactic. He's motherfucking standing in the ring. He's not wrestling. He's not going to get tired of standing.
That's true. And you know what? Underrated part of the night. Bravo to Mike. I think Michael Cole was his best on commentary as he's been in years tonight. But I also want to shout out Corey Graves for just continuing to be. Corey Graves is probably my favorite WWE commentator right now. And Morrow. But, it's a shame. That's how you know pay-per-view was not as enjoyable when we're shouting out how good the pay-per-view was called.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in a great circumstance, but I don't think it was. This is a predictable call. I don't think the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar bout needed. They didn't need a title. So I think it was a horrible move. I would have rather seen Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. And also, I'm going to throw that would have been fine if they would have done that good. But I wouldn't mind have seen Braun Strowman thrown into that loop because he has asked Kevin Owens for his title shot repeatedly. So I would have been okay if he would have been thrown in because we got to have something big for the big man.
Or maybe this is a ploy or a way to get the belt on Strowman without having him beat Kevin Owens.
Hey, that's a great point. If all of a sudden between now and Mania, even if all of a sudden, that would take the heat off of that Lesnar match, I think. So, but I would have loved if all of a sudden Strowman demanded his title shot. Where's Goldberg at? And at the the 9th hour, he goes in there and just destroys him. But he couldn't do that until after Mania. But I think it seems obvious that Brock Lesnar is going to win at WrestleMania. So I think Goldberg may retain. And if so, that would enter Braun Strowman to destroy him, and that's great because this guy is so unbeatable. And all of a sudden, Braun Strowman destroys him. I'd be okay with that.
I would be too because I feel the way they've done Lesnar Goldberg since Survivor Series, it makes logically, and we're wrestling fans once again, so we can't think about wrestling outcomes and booking logically. Logically, there's no way Lesnar beats Goldberg. No way. He can't. But we just know because I'm pretty sure Goldberg can't wrestle a match past 5 minutes. That's the reason why his matches, he's been so short, since he's come back. He can't go over 5 minutes.
Right, and that's what kills it for me because it's hard for me to buy into that because you're 50 plus, we know you can't go over 2 minutes, but it's not because you're awesome. That's how they're spinning it. Oh, he's so great. He's so awesome. But really, 2 moves? Who can't game plan in a fight world for 2 moves? A spear and a jackhammer. I mean, throw a knee up. Boom. Done. I mean, because that's all he's got. That's all his arsenal is.
That's it.
It's so ridiculous that he's the world champion right now at 50 plus, and he's not. I mean, he's in better shape than Hogan was at 50. He can move better, but at least Hogan could carry a match for 15 minutes plus.
Right, and we know we know that Lesnar can go for a 15-minute match now, and it's devaluing the title. I think Goldberg winning is a negative for the WWE because it devalues the title, because you know Goldberg cannot sustain a run. I mean, he's not going to beat everybody the same way he did 20 years ago. Now, 20 years ago, with a spear and a jackhammer, it was more feasible, you know, but come on, man. Come on. Well, John brought up he brought up a good point. Cole did call Bailey a he. Slipped. They called Bailey he.
Yeah, so you gave Cole a lot of props. He's calling women, men. I called out the fact that he's talking about how strong Nia Jax is, but yet she can't kick out Sasha Banks. So, I mean, this is 3 hours worth of commentary. We know just speaking for an hour how many times he can flub up and misspeak. So it's a hard job to do, but you know, it is kind of fun and ironic. So, but overall, there's some ups, some lead-ins to WrestleMania. We've got 4 weeks to go until the grandest at it all. You guys will be sitting in Detroit.
Yeah.
Should have got on that Amtrak, dog. Should have got on that Amtrak.
It was, man, I'm looking. And then, you know, I've been like crazy busy because I started a new job last week and ended the old job all in the same week. I've been battling like 2 cavities that I'm going to get taken care of tomorrow and trying to navigate my way around, you know, my wife's work schedule, where she gets up at 5, has to be to work at 5 in the morning every day. So I've been scatterbrained for like the past 3 weeks. So that's what I'm blaming. If I blame it on anything, I'm blaming it on the teeth. That's what I'm blaming it on. I'm getting these teeth pulled out of my head tomorrow, hopefully, if it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, you know. So yeah, that's what I blame it on. Last week was a bad week for me, bro. Like, yeah.
Well, the homie Shane and I, my brother, will be tearing up the town in WrestleMania weekend in Orlando, throwing down possibly with the Pope if we can catch him. He'll be running around FEW. Check them out. They're based out of Miami, but we'll be in Orlando for the weekend. They've got all kinds. They even have you ever heard of this group called the Yin Yang Twins? They've got I can't even get it out, man. At a wrestling show. I don't know, but it's happening.
The Yin Yang Twins at a wrestling show, huh?
Yes, it's happening.
Funny. It's funny because, you know, that seems like, if you're a fan of rap, that seems like an Atlanta thing to do. We know the Yin Yang Twins are from Atlanta, but that seems like a very Atlanta thing to do.
So they'll be there, but in a stack card. So check out FEW Wrestling. They're on Facebook, and they'll be in Orlando. So we've got that in 4 weeks. 4 weeks count. We're ready for WrestleMania. Before WrestleMania, you can catch us each and every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, and then also on Stitcher and
Google Play,
iTunes, Google Play, all the great things. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube so you get the notifications when we do these pop-up shows, and subscribe on iTunes because that helps us go up the charts. And,
yo, get us them 5 stars on iTunes, y'all. Know we be bringing the heat for y'all.
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. And go back and check out our past interviews. I know the one with Sid Vicious where he's talking about Scott Hall and his time in WWE versus WCW. That's got over 100,000 hits. The Rikishi where he talks about why he did it for The Rock. That has got over 50, 60,000 hits. So make sure you go through our archives with Bushwhackers and Superfly Jimmy Snuka. There's a bunch of them. From Legends to guys from always, from guys to TNA, and the NDC. So lots going on from Hit the Ropes. You can follow us at Hit the Ropes on Twitter. I almost called you Doggone Stokes. It's time to go to bed, Courtney. Do you have anything else for the people before we sign off?
Not much. I do believe is me and Stokes on the show this week. I'm not sure. I know it's me on the show for this week. I'm pretty sure when he gave us the randomizer results, it was me and him for this week. You and Shane did a good job last week. I listened while I was shaving the other day. Yeah, man, just listen to the show each and every Wednesday live. Check us out on YouTube live, even if you don't have to watch live. You know what I'm saying? Just set that notification, click subscribe, click that bell so you are notified of whenever we drop a show. You know what I'm saying? It could even be, a little video, a little blurb from one of us. Darius is great with the pop-ups. So y'all, we're trying to get the subscriber count up just so, we want more people to hear about us. So check us out each and every Wednesday after every pay-per-view, the big four. Usually we do Wrestling with Friends. This year, it'll just be, Shane and Darius will be at Mania Live. Stokes and I will be here on the couch watching live. So, just join us for some good wrestling hot takes, y'all.
All right, people, at Hit the Ropes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We will see you later. We are out.
Peace.